Hello, this is Robert Polenick, the owner of Brutal Iron Gym. I'm here today with one of our trainers, Paul Peterson, and we're going to talk today about kind of advice that we would give to our younger selves. So another way of wording this would be, if we were to start over on our fitness journey, what would we do differently? So we'll have Paul start off, and then I'm going to give some counterpoints, maybe talk a little bit. But the point we're hoping you take away from this is learning from some of the mistakes that we've made and hopefully avoiding those mistakes yourself. So Paul, so what's one of the things that you would do differently?
I would definitely, consistency would be a huge thing for me. Over the course of, I'm 41 now, and over the course of, since high school, I was an athlete in high school, and off and on, I'd hit it hard, and then life got in the way, and had a kid, and moved, and so it was just sporadic. And I look back over, the last 20 years and realize if I would have been consistent, if I would have showed up every day at the gym and paid attention to my workouts and paid attention to my nutrition, man, I wouldn't be doing physique shows. I'd be doing bodybuilding shows or powerlifting shows,
Yeah.
And so I think that would be the number one thing, is just consistency. And I think, now I've developed much more consistency, and the key to that, I think, is managing my calendar, honestly. Mm-hmm. I actually put this on my calendar. It's a meeting, and I show up for my meetings. And I think the thing there would be, a lot of people, they try to squeeze it in.
Yeah.
Try to squeeze in a workout. Well, if you don't schedule it, it'll get squeezed out, because you won't have time, or when you do finally have time, you're going to be tired. You're
the quality will be
absolutely.
Try to get an hour-long workout in 30 minutes. It's not going to.
You're
going to only get 30-minute results.
You just get 30-minute results. Yeah. But if that's all you have, schedule the 30 minutes.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
Get it on the calendar. Show up. Give it an all-out effort. So, but for me, I think the number one thing would be consistency in exercise and nutrition. I would show up and do the work every single day. I mean, we see this all the time, right?
Yeah.
People come into the gym and they hit it hard for 6 months, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
and they're all over Instagram, whatever. Yeah. And then 6 months from now, I mean, they may do a show or whatever. 6 months from now, they're gone, and then you see them, you're like, "Oh no, what happened?" And I just think the guy or the girl that shows up and consistently puts in the effort, day after day, month after month, year after year, those are the people whose lives are better on the inside and the outside. So consistency.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And then you and I do a lot of research and trying to learn everything we can, and the people we always end up following are the ones that have been doing it 10 years, 20 years.
Right.
So you can learn a lot about yourself, and you can get results in a short time.
Right.
But it takes that consistency and long term to really reach your potential and everything. So,
yeah, I agree. And I the other thing too is, I think it has to be a priority, right? And I mean, you can absolutely. I have 6 kids and 2 jobs and a wife, right? And it's a priority. It does happen, and so I think, if I can do it, if you can do it. I mean, we figure out ways to make the important things in our life happen, and you show up and do the work. So,
and it's also like you've been in here at like 5 a.m. to get a workout in. Like, I've stayed as late as 10 o'clock at night, to get workouts in.
Yep.
So it's one of those things, if you do want it, there is time. It might not be the time you want.
Right.
And it wasn't the one maybe you planned for, but you still, you still get it in to be consistent with it. So.
I think that the tortoise and the hare, right?
Mm.
The hare took off real fast, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, he's going to win the race!" And the tortoise took off really slow, but at the end of the race, the tortoise won because he just kept doing the right thing over and over and over. So, there you go, consistency.
Yeah. So is there any other advice or anything else you'd tell yourself?
I would eat like a farm boy. I would, if I could start over, dude.
Farm boy foods. Yes.
Oh, I would eat way less pizza and drink way less pop and eat way less Butterfingers, and I would eat meat and potatoes and vegetables. I would eat like a farm boy, and I would eat 6 or 7 meals a day rather than 1 or 3.
Well, it's like I always tell people, it's hard to get fat off the right foods.
Right.
So like if you're eating, like you said, like say chicken and rice. If you ate enough chicken and rice to get fat, you're probably throwing up before you even get there.
Right, you can't.
So people get fat off the bad foods.
Right.
So you can eat as much as you want of the good foods and gain a bunch of muscle. So it's when you mix in the bad foods that people usually start then needing to restrict because they're getting too much fat.
So my last show that I did, I was eating 300 grams of protein a day. That's a lot. I mean, and some people might actually have said that was too much. Right?
Yeah, that's definitely debatable. Yeah,
so. Pretty shredded going into that show. There's a lot of.
Well, we
meat.
actually didn't you didn't cut any calories going into your last show.
No.
We just did more and more activity and then cleaned up the quality of the food.
Right.
So that showed that, like, you know, for example, like you were talking about, like eating like a farm boy to get bigger and bigger.
Right.
So it is, if you eat the right foods, you can even get leaner and leaner.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to get fat eating too
No.
much of,
Yes.
for the most part. I mean, guys
Yeah.
like me are not going to get fat eating
Well.
too much of the right food.
Well, it's hard to down, like you hear, like some guys, you'll hear big, like powerlifters or strongmen eat like 10,000 calories a day.
Right.
In order to get there, though, they're eating candy, they're eating junk, they're just getting calories for mass, but they're not worried about the quality of that mass all the time.
Right.
So if you are worried about quality, you don't eat the candy, you don't eat the junk, you just eat good foods.
Right.
So a lot of it, yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So that's so the 2 points you have there is consistency, and then eating like farm boy. Any other kind of words of advice?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I would keep learning
Okay.
and keep setting goals and moving the ball forward. Like, I don't want to be doing the same thing when I'm 42 that I am at 41. I actually want to be better
Yes.
at 42, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
So just keep moving the ball down the field and don't be content. I mean, celebrate at every goal, but keep moving the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And so I would do that. I'd definitely keep learning. You know, keep reading, keep watching videos, keep experimenting, pushing yourself. So yeah, those would be the things.
Cool. So, so if people want to learn more about you and get kind of individual access to you as an individual trainer, learn more about your lifestyle, like how you fit this in with 6 kids and a wife, where can they find you? What are some ways to get a hold of you?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and a blog.
so for example, the reason why I bring this up is I do like reading his blogs. So you have blogs not only related to health and fitness, but just organizing your life, being successful. So what's like the website, or how do they find their blog?
It's
your
paulpetersonlive.com.
There you go.
And then on Instagram and social media, or Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, it's all just like facebook.com/thepaulpeterson.
There you go. So
And-
the Paul Peterson.
Right, because there's some
So
other
you're
famous
the
Paul
best
Petersons.
one.
Well, there's a bunch
So
of Paul Petersons out there, like.
So yes. So
Yeah. So.
okay. Well, that'll work. So so that's Paul's answers, and you'll see in this video we'll have the answers from the other trainers, and hopefully you guys take away this information and find it useful. Thank you.
Cool.
Cool.